That
I,
is the
I,
cringiest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. And I'm 63. I've seen a whole lot and heard a whole lot. That is the cringiest thing.
Hi, all. Welcome to Reading Royals with body language expert Scott Rouse. I'm Kinsey Schofield. Reading Royals brings history, headlines, and human behavior together in a way only we can. We go beyond palace press releases and carefully staged photo ops to look at what is really being communicated. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Harry and Meghan's 2026 trip to Australia had all the trappings of a royal tour, but none of the substance. I mean, it's what we've come to expect, Scott. Zero substance. This
Yeah.
was a carefully packaged for profit venture built around their titles, with the couple essentially playing working royals while cashing in behind the scenes. Amidst lukewarm public interest and low ticket sales for commercial events, the duo focused on high price speaking engagements, brand boosting, and staging photo ops, all while complaining about the loss of their elite status. Scott, you're kind of watching royal headlines differently today. In
Mhm.
fact, you sent me a text message on the first day that's like, they're here, they've landed. What
Yeah.
was your overall reaction to Harry and Meghan's Australia tour?
Same thing you think and everybody else thinks, self-centered. I mean, it
Yeah.
was when they got there, I mean, from the time they got there, the time they were doing all their stuff, all it was mostly about Meghan, but it's about them. And I don't understand how they can take the position of what are they supposed to be there for? Mental health now? Is that what they're into?
They don't have a like they'll say they're just what it is an ego trip. If we want to just like dumb it down for everybody, it's an ego trip.
Hmm.
Um, but they say it's not a royal tour, but it's a working tour. But they want it to look like a royal tour so that we don't criticize them for utilizing their titles, commercializing, monetizing their royal status. And it's especially easy to do so when they've spent years calling the institution outdated and racist. Yet they're utilizing the institution to make money. Like
Yeah.
otherwise, nobody cares about Prince Harry. Nobody cares about. They certainly don't care about Meghan Markle. She was on the verge of being an unemployed cable TV actress when she met Prince Harry, which Tom Bauer stresses in Betrayal. Like she was on the way out, on the way into the unemployment line. And so there is no formal declaration of what this is. It's so messy, it's so confusing. And that's why it's easier to critique because it's like, what are you guys doing? Is it a
I don't,
vacation?
what are they doing showing up at a hospital though? I mean, of
Yeah.
little kids. And this is right after they got off the plane, keep in mind. Being
Yeah.
on a plane for ever
Nice
how
and
many hours?
germy. Nice and germy off a commercial flight.
Yeah, with kids who have cancer and other things and their systems are really, really beat up, and they're come sailing in there, getting in their faces and stuff. I didn't think that kind of got on my last nerve there. That wasn't cool, man. That wasn't
Well,
good at
no,
all.
keep in mind, Scott, and this was very much intentional. That years ago, the Queen had made Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen Elizabeth, had made an appearance at this hospital, which was a strategic move by Harry and Meghan because they know in all of the local news they're going to show that transition video of Queen Elizabeth there releasing the plaque at the same hospital. Transition to Harry and Meghan walking through
Uh,
those same halls. So the objective there in that hospital visit was that and you're right off the plane, so they're
yeah.
immediately saying I'm talking germs, but from a branding perspective, right off the plane means we're here for a royal tour. We're going to the same hospital that Queen Elizabeth was at. Look at these
Oh,
visuals of Queen Elizabeth at the hospital. Now look at the visuals of us at the hospital. Right from the start, they're telling the world this is a royal tour with that stop at the hospital that Queen Elizabeth was once at.
why aren't they shutting them down? Why in the what do you call it? The royal, what do you call
Oh,
it?
the king. I mean, no, I mean, my entire audience is right now, my in the chat room, like applauding you. They're saying, grow a pair, King Charles. I mean, even I have said it lately, like, Charles, I love you. I know you're sick. I know you're weak. I know you have cancer, and I'm sorry, but grow a pair. He's in a difficult situation right now. And I know I shouldn't defend him, but I will, because he has a very important job when he visits the United States in a few days. He's going to Washington to meet with President Trump. He, they're calling it a celebration of 250 years of independence,
Are
and
you going to that?
I am going to. I'll be
Okay.
there, and I'll be
Okay.
talking to you from Washington at some
Okay.
point. So I'll show you. I'll show you my view out my hotel window.
Okay.
But the objective, the ulterior motive from the UK government is for Charles to mediate between Keir Starmer, their prime minister, who's a total cluster. You know what? I mean, just in general, we're now finding out that he knew way more than he said he did about, or maybe, and was out of the loop on some things that he absolutely should have been in the loop on regarding Peter Mandelson's relationship, the UK ambassador to the US, his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So Keir Starmer, already a nightmare, but Keir Starmer has clashed with our president. And so now people are worried that the special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States is in jeopardy. And so King Charles has a very real task, and that is to mediate between Keir Starmer and President Trump. Trump loves the British royal family. He loves King Charles. So Charles is in a unique position to actually do this. And so if the king were to come down hard on Harry and Meghan right now, and I even use this argument as to why the king cannot see Harry and Meghan while he's in the United States, it distracts from the ultimate objective, which is the healing between our two countries. And that's why we won't see Harry and the king meet while he's here.
Oh,
And I also think that's why the king technically can't do anything aggressive right now, because he has a bigger responsibility on his hands, and that is mediating between the current prime minister, I say current because he should have resigned like 5 scandals ago, and our current president. So that is my answer, and it's unfortunate. We want him to strip their titles right now. We all do. We think that they are a liability. Harry running around talking about how the royal family killed his mom. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. How being a royal killed his mom, basically. Technically, I think it was a drunk driver and a lack of seatbelt, but
there you
okay.
go.
But I think that they ultimately will hurt the British royal family. And I'd also make the argument that I don't think it's fair for Prince William, as King William, to inevitably have to be the bad guy and put the hammer down.
Yeah, it's more of a dad thing, I would think.
Yeah, come on, Charles.
Yeah.
Sack
But
up. Sack up.
I can't believe he's going to come here and he's not going to see his kid, though. That's
Can
that's
you?
that's
I
a
wouldn't
big
want to see
deal.
Harry either.
Yeah. Oh no, I know. But I mean, from a father and son thing, that's a pretty big deal. And yet, when's the last time we saw him? And I'm sorry, I'm taking everybody that's watching this knows all this stuff. I don't. So I'm really
It's like
interested.
you and I, we gossip. We love that. We tea pretty hard together.
Yeah.
When is the last time he saw his father? I believe it's when his father announced to the world that he had cancer. I believe is when I think Harry got on a plane, which was a few years ago. I think Harry got on a plane immediately, because Harry was only told like minutes before the mainstream media got the news, because they don't trust Harry. So
Oh,
he was left in the dark until right before the world found out that, and King Charles announced it to everyone that he had cancer. And I believe Harry jumped on a plane and went to see him immediately, and was surprised and complained, allegedly, about how he had to use like the entrance of the royal estate that has metal detectors and security and everything, because they wanted to ensure he wasn't mic'd up, allegedly,
oh,
and secretly recording a conversation between him and his father. I'd have to double check, but I believe that's the last time they saw each other.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a while back. I can't believe I'm going,
But
yeah, yeah.
Harry is suing so many entities in the United Kingdom, and um in the United States it's the people verse, so it's us
Oh,
versus a defendant. In the UK it's the crown verse, so
oh,
it's
okay.
kind of King Charles verse. So one of the reasons King Charles has literally had to keep a distance between Harry and himself is because Harry could go into court and say, well, my dad said this, and it's the crown verse.
Oh,
That would throw the entire um, case into chaos.
okay.
So the
Okay.
king's literally navigating this really difficult. I know here I feel like I'm just sitting over here.
No, but I'm asking this. I don't know. I
Well, I
don't
feel
know
like I'm
any.
defending somebody, and it's really hard to defend them lately. It's really hard to defend them. It's really hard to defend King Charles lately. Like even through all the Andrew stuff, it's difficult to defend them. It just seems like a lot of hiccups going on, and I understand the people that are critical of the DC trip and go, "Is this really the right time?" But I also felt that about Harry and Meghan's Australia trip, with everything going on in the royal family right now, with Andrew. I mean, Andrew is still in the news almost every day because of his Jeffrey Epstein association, still under investigation for sharing government secrets with Jeffrey Epstein, could get jail time for that. And there's Harry and Meghan, waving their royal flag with the ultimate objective of monetizing their relationship with the British royal family. And it's like, guys, do you have any self awareness?
That's too bad.
It's too bad.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah, it's. I'm not going to say what I think. Yes.
I love when you say I'm not going to say what I think, because guess what? I asked him at the end of the show after I stopped recording and he tells me, and I'm like, I'm so glad you didn't say that, but yes.
Yeah, it's graphic sometimes. And well, I won't say that either. Anyway,
Anyway,
so what else you
let's talk
got?
about some body language.
Okay.
And it's trying to show me, let's see here. Um did you catch any body language overall? Like if I asked you to just discuss the trip as a whole, how would you describe, do you think they looked confident? Did you think they looked royal?
Oh, yeah. To me, I didn't think it looked royal. I haven't really followed a lot of that stuff. But I remember when Princess Diana would be out doing stuff, and you'd see that and go, "Oh, that's what's going on there." So I never really focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
But this just looked like it was really odd because there's two people walk around like they're important, but they
Mm-hmm.
have no. That's why I always ask about that. They're putting on this air like they're really important, but they're not, and people are still showing up. You know,
Right.
granted, I don't think as many people showed up to their thing as they did back in the old days to the other stuff, to Diana and whoever else. But it just feels weird. It's a little off-putting because I don't see what the importance is. So for me, it's like I don't care, and I look at him and go, "That's gross."
Yeah.
It's kind of you know. Then well, yeah, that's all I'll
Well,
say about it.
what about this? Performative activism. That's what this is to me.
Yeah.
Performative activism. There's no sincerity here. There's a really, to steal your word, gross ulterior motive, and it's greed and it's attention. And there's
Mhm.
something very vulgar about that.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. The thing that bothered me the most though was going to those little children when they were just got off a plane. And those little kids, their their systems aren't ready for that if they had anything. And it could
Mm-hmm.
just rip right through them.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's
No,
not somebody's not thinking other than look at me. Let's see how big we can make this. So
right.
that makes it disingenuine.
Also, it doesn't feel
Disingenuous.
like how is it related to, it was just such a cheap opportunity because it's not related to any of their initiatives. We actually don't see them very often with sick kids. You brought up the name Princess Diana. That's literally all they were trying to do. They were trying to recreate, because Princess Diana, we did associate with sick children. We associated her with cradling ill babies. We associated her with having little kids draped all over her. That they're trying to recreate those moments. They're trying to hijack Harry's mother's legacy
Mhm.
because their brand has taken so many hits, and they're just trying to salvage their brand, and it just feels so gross. Now, unfortunately, I didn't pull anything from the hospital. I wish I would have thought to do that, and I'm so sorry I didn't
I
do
wouldn't
that.
want to see that anyway. It makes me
Okay.
then I'd be in, what the whole time because I'd be
Yeah, but
staying mad.
what I do have is Meghan Markle allegedly wearing $50,000 in jewelry and wardrobe at a homeless shelter where struggling women are showering her with compliments.
Oh, you look amazing. You look like a model. You do. And you've had children, you've got no wrinkles. Nice glowing skin.
You are so nice.
It was nice to meet you.
Of course, she looks like a model. Deal or no deal? Briefcase girl number 23, Scott.
Wow, that's too bad. 'Cause, I mean,
Serving frittata, dripping in gold, and allowing those women to stand there and compliment her. It's classic Meghan Markle. No one ever better comment on my eyebrows ever again, by the way, after what I just witnessed. But, I just think that, again, I hate to repeat myself, but that lack of self-awareness, this looks ridiculous. Meghan should be standing there edifying the struggling women in front of her. And when somebody says, "You're so beautiful," instead of going, "You're so generous," you should be like, "You're beautiful. Are you kidding me? I'm so lucky to be standing here in front of you today." But she is such an alien socially, which I think you've said to me before. She does
oh yeah.
not behave normally. And that's just such a perfect example of it. Like, me at the homeless shelter. Get a clue.
Yeah, but look at it from the perspective of a true narcissist, a clinical narcissist. I always say she's in nirvana when she's doing this, and this is nirvana for her. She's being videoed doing something good, and the people she's doing stuff for are saying, "You're so pretty, you're so nice. Thanks for doing this." And she's like, "Oh, she's taking everything, but she's not giving anything."
Oh, God.
And I don't know if it was just me or that hand when she was bringing that stuff out looked like the hand of a 300-year-old vampire overlord, or is it just me?
No,
She's
I
picking
think I think
stuff
that
out.
that's actually what the headlines were that day. 300 vampire overlord serves frittata. Oh my gosh, you're so. They do tell you that. I had a date. I had a lunch date the other day with
Ooh,
with
let's hear it. Tell
no,
it, girl.
no. I mean, one of my friends brought his girlfriend, who is an anti-aging expert, to lunch, and we
Oh,
were talking about Kris Jenner's facelift. And I was like, but like, she's wearing gloves a lot. What can you do about your hands? And she was telling me that, like, they can insert fat from other parts of your body, like your butt, into your hands to make your hands look younger. How did we get here? How did we get here? This is a classic Scott and Kinsey moment. It's feet or it's butt or
see, there you
hands.
go. How far are we into this? We're not too far in. There it is. There it is.
Classic Kinsey and Scott. Honestly, I digress is what the name of this show should be. I digress.
But
Here we are. But yeah, I mean, it was. Tell me from a narcissistic standpoint, like, how do you define a narcissist? Because I see narcissist written a lot in our chat when we're
yeah,
talking about Meghan Markle. A lot of people agree with you on the narcissist perspective.
yeah, and narcissist and narcissistic personality type and all that, that's being so overused because everyone can do anything all day long. You're going to be doing things that make you look narcissistic. And if you don't know that person and that's all you see is that one thing they do, you go, "Oh, look at that. Yeah, I don't like him or I don't like her because he's a narcissist.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did this and it was all about them." You might do one or two things during the day, but when everything is about you and everything is centered and planned and executed for you, that's different. We do see some body language in here that shows vulnerability when she turns her head and shows her neck. Girls do that when they're showing vulnerability, when they're being attractive to a guy, they'll do things, trying to attract a guy, they'll do that too and show their neck. That
Well,
shows
what if you're a
vulnerability.
vampire overlord? Maybe that's just.
Well, then she shouldn't have been out in the dang daytime. So was this daytime or nighttime this happened? Have we seen her in the daytime yet?
Daytime. She had to crunch a lot of fake philanthropy into her trip. So this is
What,
still
what was
daytime.
what was that vampire movie that everybody was into?
Twilight?
Twilight. Maybe she's one of those who go out in the daytime. She just glitters
She
in the
just
sun.
sparkles. We
Yeah,
just assume it's the $50,000 worth of jewelry, but she's actually a vampire.
could be that.
I think that's a fair assumption. All right, so some commentators online accused Meghan's body language of being forced and awkward during this appearance, not natural, is what they said. Let's take a look at it because I'm curious to know if you agree with that. I understand the forced allegation with
Yeah.
the way that Meghan is so direct. What's your take? What do you take away from that video?
With the situation, you have to take everything into context when you start looking at somebody's behavior and their body language. Let's let's think about how she's been there. I don't know how long, probably for a while. For some reason, I get the feeling this is later in the day or in the evening, maybe because it's so dark in there.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been doing that all day long, and so the smile after a while gets fake. It actually starts, as you know, gets a little painful when you have to stand around and take pictures. If you have to go to one of those cons you guys do and all that kind of stuff where everybody shows up and gets your picture, you have to keep smiling. After a while, it hurts. It gets a little painful. So that's one of the reasons I think that when she says hi and then her smile disappears so quickly, but that's really fast. When somebody's face hurts, it goes down slow because it even hurts when you let go of it. It's a little bit painful, but it goes away so fast. I think she's just in there reacting. I don't think she's thinking about what she's going to do. She's just reacting. When she walks up to those little children and starts talking to them, notice how she's perfectly framed for the camera that's shooting her. And who do you think
They
owns
do
that
say
camera?
her critics say she's always looking for the camera. Do you get that sense?
Yeah, obviously, because when's the last time you saw her where she wasn't at least a little bit, you know, aimed toward the camera? Doesn't
Mhm.
happen very often at the times I've seen her anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's this so far looks like the come and watch me be nice to everybody tour.
Yeah, there is a picture that would really tick you off at the hospital where she's mid hug with a child. She's mid hug and she's making eye contact with a camera. And people are like,
Uh,
oh my God, that's what this
oh
is
man.
all about.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. That's
Oof.
like the nicest thing. I know you're thinking I know that's too bad is like the nicest thing you can say about this right now.
Yeah.
I know you want to say other things, but
Oh, it's
you're
yeah,
a
but
good
too
guy.
graphic.
You're a good guy. All right, let's talk about I'm just gonna say it. Why is Prince Harry always smelling? Like it is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I can't. Wow.
Have you smelled this? Does this smell like candy?
Yeah.
Kind of.
And then Harry is smelling a rock or something. You sent me a video of him smelling something that I don't have on here.
I think that's what
Why
it
is
is.
Prince Harry always smelling?
That's a possum skin ball. That's the video I sent you. Some people do that. They need that extra sense to help them feel grounded. It's in a normal situation, they need that. If there's something there, they want to smell it. Nothing wrong with it. It's odd behavior when people do it. But I've also noticed, and I mentioned it on on like the behavior panel and on my channel, that he smells his fingers a lot. He's just goes, watch him. He does it. I'm not kidding you. There are several things about this guy that he does all the time. And one thing I didn't see him that he wasn't doing when they first showed up, when they first got out of the limousine to that hospital or not limousine, out of the car to the hospital, he's not adjusting his jacket. He's not doing all that stuff.
Oh, that his dad does.
Yeah. Yeah, his dad does that stuff, but he's constantly doing that stuff. No matter what's going on, especially if he's giving a talk or speech, his hands are going in his pocket. He's doing this. He's all and he'll try to keep his button thing, try to hold his button together on his jacket, all those kind of things. And one of the things he does, and it's sparingly, I think, when he doesn't think about it, he smells his finger.
That is so
It's
gross. I'm
bizarre.
dying over this. This is my favorite takeaway
Yeah.
that we've had so far. I did talk to Dickie Arbiter. He's the former press secretary to Queen Elizabeth and King Charles
Mhm.
about some of Harry's behavior on this trip. And he said to me that, and maybe this isn't a future episode for you on your channel or for us, but he did say that Harry seems more anxious, like he's full of anxiety more today than before Meghan. Like when he was in the regular working royal routine where
Mhm.
and Harry talks about in Spare how his hands would sweat and how he was full of anxiety, but we see it visibly more today with Meghan. Is it that he's out of practice? Is it, and I think that this is a fair question and it's not like a sexist question. I think Meghan adds more anxiety to
Mhm.
his load, because he tells us somebody she's the next Princess Diana. Someone's going to hurt her the way they hurt my mother, which I think is totally unrealistic and unstable and paranoid. But he says that. Do you have any takeaways or any suggestions for why Harry might seem more anxious, even though he's done this all of his life, today versus when, before Meghan, pre-Megs?
Okay, that's a great point. I'm going to talk about two things though. The first part is what we're talking about here, where it's his when you see him giving a speech or giving a talk, we've talked about this before. You see his hand in his pocket moving around. It comes out. Those are increasing more than they were when they were first, royals. He wasn't doing as much. He was doing the jacket thing where he's constantly doing this down. He kind of see he's doing this with his button, goofing with that all the time. Now he's doing it constantly when he does a speech. That last speech with that really weird background behind. I mean, it's not that one. It is that one, and the one before that with that green stripe on it in
Mm-hmm.
the background. He's given
Mm-hmm.
two of them lately. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had a chance to do them yet. They're ramped up a little bit there. It could be because maybe they've been fussing or something. Maybe this isn't what's going on isn't what we're actually seeing, for whatever reason. But his stress to me does seem like it's gearing up. Maybe that's why he's focused on it all of a sudden and not giving advice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
I have said recently that I do have a hard time with him giving mental health advice when he doesn't seem like he's in a stable place. And I don't apologize for it. I don't think he's in a stable place. I don't think he's an authority on mental health. And I think in the mental health space, it's almost dangerous to have people that are not in a position to do that, have
you know
that
what
kind
it's
of
like?
attention. What?
It's like me coming on here and telling you about the royals. Well, here's what's going on with the king and the queen. Oh,
But
here's
it's
all.
it's more dangerous than that when it comes to mental health, don't you
Oh, I
think?
agree with that. I agree
Yeah,
with that. But the knowledge of it, I don't know anything except what I hear from you.
yeah.
So and he doesn't know anything except for what therapists have told him, and he's been. When you get somebody on there giving their opinions about your mental health and those things, man, you got to be careful with that because somebody that could go sideways on you because somebody may be thinking, "Oh, okay, I should be feeling this way. I should do these things." You have to have a professional. You have to be a professional to be giving out advice
Well,
like
and
that.
and if Harry's just repeating what he's hearing from the people that he's paying,
Mhm.
when you are a person of, I'll just say it, even though I don't want to, influence, when
Mhm.
you are a headline maker, when you are a, a what a public figure, and or maybe you are a wealthy person, you tend to surround yourself with yes people.
Mhm.
And you might be in a room with somebody, and this is just a hypothetical situation that I'm building right now, but you could be in a room airing your grievances, and that person could be like, "You are absolutely right. Yes, yes, and yes. And you should be mad about that." And their objective is to keep you coming because they like saying that there is a member of the royal family that is on their client list, or they want to keep you coming because boy, do you pay well, and Christmas is on the horizon. They sometimes, when you're a celebrity, there are people around you with ulterior motives, and your health, your mental health, or your best life is not their priority.
Yeah. And when he's out there talking about how he's afraid something's going to happen to his wife, the things that bother me that come out of this guy's mouth and her mouth as well when they're talking about their children and he's talking about somebody's going to hurt her, they're going to trigger somebody. I'm telling you, they're going to trigger somebody that's going to go, I need to do that. He's telling me that. He's talking to me. I need to go do that. There's some people out there that aren't together mentally that will see that and hear it that way. I'm telling you, you got to be
I'm
careful
I'm,
with
I'm
that.
totally with you, and I don't like I'm not a woo woo kind of, well, I guess I'm probably more woo woo than I want to be, but
Mhm.
I do think that if you fixate on certain things, the world is energy, and if you fixate on certain things, you're going to attract certain things. So if you, Prince Harry, go on the BBC complaining that your security has been taken away from you, which technically it hasn't. You are given security based on your circumstances, and 9 times out of 10, you get exactly the security you want. But if you go sit down with the BBC and say, I'm not bringing my wife to the UK because I'm afraid somebody's going to throw acid on her, and you are that freaking specific, do you not understand that you are attracting bad energy? You are attracting bad people. You are attracting that horrific scenario by throwing it out into the universe. Be so careful with the way you think, the way you speak, because energy is constantly in motion, and you will, whether you want to or not, attract negative things when you fixate on negative things.
I hate to be such a downer and bring that in, but if they're going to sit there and he's going to talk about that stuff and nobody's telling him that, maybe somebody will tell him that. That's not good.
No, it's not good. And you're right. He's putting people in jeopardy, especially when he gets so specific like that. Like when he said acid in her face or something, I was like, who the hell throws that out there? Who does that?
Just giving people ideas. And I'm telling you, somebody's going to think he's talking to them. Because there's people, there's schizophrenics that believe that. They believe the TV's telling them things to do, the president's telling them things to do, and they go and try to execute those things.
And I know I've stopped reading your full biography at the top of the show because you're my co-host. I didn't know if it was completely necessary, but for people wondering, you do have a background. You work with law enforcement on finding these types of people and understanding and talking and communicating with the types of people you're talking about right now. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's how I know. That's how I know that's what's happening.
Right.
And when you get into the studies on all those things, and you say, well, this in a study, they'll tell you different things that have happened to give it examples and where this happened, why they got into studying those kind of things. And I'm telling you, that stuff happens. It's not good. Bringing attention to your children like that, bringing attention to your wife like that, and talking about what you're afraid of happening. And somebody's going to, I'm not going to say it again, but you've got to be careful with your mouth when you're at that level of people looking at you and watching you and listening to you.
And this is, you are literally saying this as somebody that's concerned that this is advice coming from an expert, and you're not being ugly. You're literally saying, I want you to be safe. That's to translate this for Harry. We want you to be safe. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Do whatever you with his wife. Do whatever you want or whatever, but they got kids. They got little children. If somebody's to do something might happen to those children too. So, and we've talked about their situation before as well.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. Well, let's go back to Meghan Markle, because here she is.
Is there anything more depressing I could bring up or talk about?
Yeah,
be a downer?
Well, we could look at her feet, but I did try to find pictures of her feet for you, but I failed.
For now 10 years. Every day for 10 years, I've been bullied and attacked, and I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. And I'm still here. And so when I think of all of you and what you're experiencing, I think so much of that is having to realize that, that industry, that billion-dollar industry that is completely anchored and predicated on cruelty to get clicks, that's not going to change. So you have to be stronger than that. And a friend of mine gave me a little bag that had a quote on it that I had put on. And I look at it every single day. And I would share it with you because sometimes I can imagine as you talk about depression or anxiety or the willingness or lack of appetite to even want to get out of bed or keep going, that this is the quote that it says, and I think it's important that you remember it, as I try to as well. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. And that's my wish for all of you as well. And you can do it, together. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. I will personally tell you it is not easy, but you can do it. And my wish for all of you is to just continue.
That is the cringiest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. And I'm 63. I've seen a whole lot and heard a whole lot. That is the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
Are you also like, what's your definition of a little bag? That's a long ass quote. What's your definition of a little bag? Like how?
But the thing about this is, everything we see here, from everything she does, is what she does in those interviews where she's talking about business and she's getting ready to, a drop the mic moment. She's going to tell them the way she does it. And she's sold out. I can't believe her sold out. And she starts that same stuff with that wiping under her nose, all
Mhm.
those things. And then she leans forward to give this, you know, this statement that is just so cornball, man, and delivering it like she's the one that thought it up.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm talking like this about this on here.
Yeah.
I swear to you, if any of my friends see this, this is all I'll hear about for the next 3 years.
Well, can I
Holy
ask you, can I
smokes.
ask you a pretty basic question?
Yeah.
Does she does she believe herself when she says, well, first of all, we should express the fact that we should remind ourselves that this is an actress. I very
Mhm.
much see an actress in there with some of the highs and lows that you're talking about. And then she's like, I'm coming in for well, I don't know. I want to use a baseball reference. Like, I'm coming into home base or whatever, like when she drops the mic with her stupid quote. But she's an actress. I constantly want to remind our audience that was paid to recite lines for a living. But do you believe that she believes that she is the most trolled, or is the most trolled woman in the world? Because she says that with such conviction.
Yeah, that's anger. That's good. Even though it looks like she's being, here's what happened to me. No, she's mad about that. She doesn't like when people talk bad about her, and most people do talk bad
Hi,
about her, I
Megan.
think. So, speaking of which, so that's what this is. I keep saying this about her, but this is who we're dealing with. The narcissistic level here is incredible because I know people like what she's doing. This behavior is not new to me. This is nothing I haven't seen before a bunch of times. And they'll take on this air of I'm a professional, like this guru air of you're depressed, something's wrong with you, and I'm going to tell you how to fix it. And if
Mhm.
you, it's almost like she's not a cult leader, but it's almost like cult leaders do.
Yes.
So she's delivering this stuff like she's the know-it-all of this situation, and she's not. The things she talked about not getting out of bed, no appetite, she throws those aside like those are nothing. Those are big signs of depression. If you can't get out of the bed, and if you don't want to eat, man, that's a big deal. And she just kind of throws them aside. If you can't, if you don't have an appetite, you can't get out of the bed, then those should be focused on because some
Right.
people don't realize that's a problem. I'm getting
Well,
worked up.
but it doesn't matter because I was the most trolled person in the world. That's the thing is that frustrates me. To your point, if she wants to be seen as a guru, the way to
Mhm.
do it is not to make it about yourself or to make it about your struggles. Because if we're being honest, she's sitting in a room full of people that probably have student loan debt, sitting in a room full of people that probably have had their credit card declined in the last 6 months to 24 months. When's the last time Meghan Markle had her credit card declined? She's sitting in a room full of people with real world problems,
Mhm.
and her real world problem is somebody didn't like her outfit at Paris Fashion Week and said she looked like human toilet paper. It was me. But I just think that you should position, if you want to be taken seriously in a specific space, you bring research, you bring analytics, you bring statistics, and that's what you discuss. You don't make it about yourself.
Or the bag that you got your quote from.
I mean, what the hell? It's just cringe is the best way to put it. I'm stealing your vocabulary. It just is. It's so inappropriate. And I was speaking to my friend who's a producer, and who was a producer over there and giving me quite a bit of intel while I was over here, and he was there about what was going on, and we both said we thought that these two kind of knocked it out of the park when it came to this trip. Like it was going,
Mhm.
yes, we could say how vile that you've launched an AI app to tell us what outfit you're wearing while you're embracing a child with cancer. That's pretty gross. And then you get a commission off of that outfit if I
What?
buy it.
Tell me about this. I don't know about that. What are you talking about?
Meghan launched one of her new investments while she was in Australia, and it's an AI app. And the app tells you what Meghan's wearing throughout her appearances so that you can buy the same outfit. And Meghan receives, not only is she an investor in the app, but she receives a commission. So all of these pictures of her hugging victims of the Bondi Beach shooting, the Jewish community, taking advantage of the Jewish community, all of these pictures of her embracing teenagers with anorexia in a hospital lobby. Well, you can wear those same outfits.
Oh man, I'm gonna get.
She gets a piece of the commission if you buy her same ugly ass beige outfits. And so, like, he was saying to me, yes, we could have criticized that. We would have criticized that. But for the most part, they behaved themselves and they did look like royals, which was the objective, until Harry goes and says that the royals basically killed his mom. And Meghan goes and says, I was the most trolled person in the world. They self-sabotage. It's always, even when we get worried, like they might pull it off, it's always Harry and Meghan that then go screw it up for themselves. Like, do they not realize that they have no ability to read a room?
I don't think they can read it. I don't think they're reading anything. You're just seeing output from them. I don't think there's any input, except if they see something they want to use as a platitude, like she does, like whatever's on her bag, and then her delivering it like, "This is to you."
Yeah.
I want you to be loving it. It's gross, man. I can't believe they're doing that.
Yeah.
It looks like a bit from Saturday Night Live, somebody doing that. That's how that looks to me anyway. I'm still dumbfounded every time I'm on here, and I get so worked up because they're nobodies. They don't have that connection. They're supposed to be royals, and she still says she's
a duchess.
Yeah, and her Royal Highness on her cards and stuff. And they're not. They're not.
Which, by the way, Scott has proved to me how easy it can be just to get HRH on a card, because this is what I received in the mail this week. The mayor of body language, Scott Rouse. Thank you. That is already on my refrigerator.
That's the way I want to be addressed on here from now on too, because I'll be knighting people and ladying people. What do you call it when you knight a woman? Knighting? What do you call it? You lady them?
I think that there's still, I don't know if you knight women. I don't know. I mean, I think I've seen Prince William standing. I don't know. We'll have to.
I'll make you something. I'll give you a title.
Thank you. I need it too. Well, we've mentioned it a couple of times before. So let's actually take a look at Prince Harry's very bizarre appearance as well. And this is just a clip. You're going to do more on your channel.
After my mum died just before my 13th birthday, I don't want this job. I don't want this role. Wherever this is headed, I don't like it. It killed my mum, and I was very much against it. And I stuck my head in the sand.
A couple of things. I don't want this job. I don't like it. Yet here I am cosplaying a royal in Australia. Another thing is, like, he's got to stop rewriting history. His mother was on a joyride with her boyfriend, Dodi Fayed, a notorious cokehead, allegedly. I know the attorneys are watching. But Dodi was, a bad influence, not necessarily. He was engaged to another woman when they started dating. Diana had been divorced from King Charles, separated from him for years, but divorced for quite some time. She had quit a lot of the charity she was working for. So she was in no way, shape, or form functioning as a working royal at the time of her death. She died at the hands of a drunk driver, and she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. You can't rewrite history, buddy. And so much of that annoys me. And again, like, I can't stress enough, a lot of my friends that were observing this in Australia, from Australia, were like, that's where you lose me. You're using this institution and you're continuing to criticize them.
That makes total sense. And what he's doing there is classic insulating. He's insulating himself from the interviewer because he's putting his hand up like, don't speak. He starts that thing where he does that whole run from the bottom of his eye down through his chin. That's helping to relax him. He's getting all worked up. And that's one of the things we use as adapters to get rid of that built up stress and tension to help us calm down. Then when he starts putting his hand up and talking about how, he's talking really fast. My mom does this. That's insulating because you can't get to him during that. Then he backs up like he's getting ready to burp, and still saying that, and then tries to move on. Everything's moving around really fast. He's insulating himself from that guy. So you can't say, well, hang on a minute. What are you talking about? Tell me about this. The guy wouldn't do that, but you can't say, hang on, tell me about this. So it's like one party just gets right by it and then moves on to something else. I didn't watch the whole thing. That's the only thing I saw of it. I'm getting ready to watch after this. And does it go away? Do they bring that up again after that? What happens after that? Is it just they move
Yeah, it's
on?
just like kind of a throwaway line.
Okay.
No one dwells on it because I think that they don't want to watch Prince Harry combust in front of them. That's obviously like such a weird topic for him, but he's always the one that brings it up. Rarely does someone else bring up his deceased mother. Harry, like when he was at that Toronto Hilton being paid to talk to real estate investors, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, he brings up his dead mother. It's like his crutch.
Well, that's his identity. That's who he is. He's the prince whose mother died, was killed by, the royal family or whatever. I mean, that's his identity. That's who he is. And don't you think for one second that his wife doesn't goose that up every time she gets a chance because she's trying to see herself as that and be in that same position because he's got a mother thing because he's married his mother.
Oh, I know. I mean,
I can't believe I'm saying all this. I'm
well,
sorry.
we're just sitting back like, go. We love it.
Oh, man.
Seal claps like Meghan does for herself. Seal claps like Meghan
Ugh.
does every time she does anything in the kitchen.
Oh,
No,
man.
I agree with you. It just feels so gross. But that's kind of where they sabotage themselves every single time. They can have the best employees in the world, choreographing all the pictures of them with cancer patients in the world. And yeah, for 1 second, they might look like working royals and they might look graceful and sophisticated. And then they open their mouths and they blow it up themselves. And then we're all reminded of the South Park episode, a worldwide privacy tour. The South Park, I remember when they go to the rebranding clinic, it's about time I rewatched that episode, the Harry and Meghan episode, but they call Meghan Markle like an influencer or something. And I remember at the time thinking, wow, she's not that anymore. She's evolved. Oh my God. And now she's selling apps. Or now she's promoting apps where you can buy the outfit she's wearing while she's standing next to homeless women. I'm sorry, it's back to influencer. You're not a Duchess, girlfriend. You're basically a MySpace girl. Like, it's just so sad to watch the decline.
It's just, I can't say, I don't know what to say about any of that. It's all true,
It's
but
all true.
ugh, I'd hate to, can you imagine what must be going on in her head when she gets up in the morning? What she
Me, me,
starts
me, 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 me,
thinking?
me, me, me. How can I be
Yeah,
wonderful today? How can I be famous? How can I make lots of money? I've got to pay for 16 bathrooms and lots of toilet paper.
they have 16 bathrooms?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
In her house, she has 16
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Yes, 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 yes.
Let me tell you, I've been to Dr. Phil's house. He doesn't have 16 bathrooms. He's
I
got
want
a
to go to
big
Dr.
house.
Phil's house.
All right, I'll call him.
Christmas party. Tell him I'm great at Christmas parties.
All right. All right. I'll let him know.
All right. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. All right. Well, Scott, you're going to do Harry's speech front to back, aren't you?
I think so. I'm gonna see if I can get on that today because I'm running behind from all the other stuff I've had to do this week.
Because you're an adult. You're a grown up with a grown up job. Let's just be
That's true.
honest. Yeah.
That's true.
So go subscribe to Scott. Congratulations on 200,000 followers. I'm very
Oh,
proud of
thank
you.
you.
And I hope a lot of them are my friends here at Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. I hope
You
that they're
wouldn't
loving you
believe
too.
all the people that say, I found you on Kinsey's channel.
Oh,
So a lot of people. So
I
thank
love
you.
that.
Yeah,
Look at we have mutual friends. I love that for us.
yeah.
All right. So agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend, and go subscribe to Scott Rouse on YouTube as well, because he's going to do a much more thorough forensic breakdown of Harry's speech in Australia. And we ain't got time for that. We've already given these two too much of our time this week, Scott. We're over them.
Yeah, I am.
I know. Thoughts and prayers for your upcoming video, but I will be watching it probably from DC, but I will be watching it.
Okay, you be careful over there now.
I will. I'll let you know. We'll be talking throughout the trip. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Scott Rouse, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thanks for
And
having
we'll
me.
see Scott again next week. Thanks so much, everyone. We will see you again next time. Bye-bye.